is getting some traction, but the OEM manufacturers really want you to use their websites. So I do know there's one or two companies that are trying to get into that space, and I think that there's opportunity for them because right now, All Data is just the best of the worst, right? And All Data is also owned by AutoZone. So, you go to write an estimate through All Data, or not to write an estimate, but you go to look at the OEM repair procedures, and it comes back and says, hey, here's some of the parts that AutoZone sells that's generic parts. Well, that doesn't benefit the OEM manufacturers, right? Because they want to sell more OEM parts. And so AutoZone could actually, in effect, be like a competitor. So I think that there could be, I personally believe that also, we had a major lawsuit in the collision repair industry not long ago it was a guy named Todd Tracy. And it was a place that was called John Eagle. So I'll type in here, Todd Tracy, John Eagle. And it was where a body shop didn't fix a car properly. And the body shop got sued for $42 million, right?
Oh, wow.
So because of that, right here, right? So because of that $42 million, you see right here on my screen, $42 million verdict. And this is, by the way, I know GLG records these calls. This is all public information. You can see it's on the internet. I just know where to look for it, right? So at the end of the day, it was a $42 million verdict. So because of this, and let's go back here. Let's go back to my PowerPoint, right? Hold on one moment. Let me just save this and exit out of this. So when you look at the data that I just showed you, keep in mind, All Data has 72% market share, right? But here's the other stat you need to look at. While All Data has 72% market share, how often are shops researching the OEM repair procedures every time they fix a car? Only 24% of shops are doing it every single time. The reason they only do it, and it should be 100%, that's scary, right? So at the end of the day, why are only 24% of the shops researching stuff all the time? It's because none of these solutions down here are easy to navigate or use. And now with that $42 million lawsuit, this has to jump from 24, way up. I mean, in the old days, if you replaced a fender on a car and you did the same car 10 times, you didn't have to research it every time, right? But today, you could have a fender that has an accident avoidance feature on it, like a blind spot monitor or a parking sensor, and one does and one doesn't. So you have to be researching every time. So there is nobody that has an easy solution to do that, and that's why I think that's the biggest area of opportunity for software. So again, they have 72% market share, but only 32% of all shops, or 24% of all shops are doing it all the time, right? And that should, and it should be 100%. So the reason most people don't do it is because it's difficult, right? The software is not user friendly.
So within the rest of that stack, before we kind of run out of time, is there anything else where there's a high degree of fragmentation among software vendors, or is it all predominantly isolated among TCC, Mitchell, All Data, and Identifix, and all of those other folks?
Yeah, so management systems, there's a lot of players in this segment, but it's, the money that it takes to, because it's not just building a management system and shops use it. That's not really where the cost is at. The cost is what you have to pay to interface with all the other products, right? So like CCC1 or ProfitNet or Mitchell's Repair Center, they have to be able to integrate with all of these software providers for parts. They have to be able to integrate with all the estimating systems. So the money is not really there's a lot of money that has to be spent to develop a management system, but there's more money that has to be spent to pay to integrate with everyone else, right? So like, say for example, let's say you build a management system and you wanted to integrate with one of these parts ordering solutions. For every one, you're talking about anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 just yearly, just to integrate with these, right? And so
you're referring that's what the vendor would charge to allow you to